welcome to all our viewers back on this Sunday, 19th of March. And what a week it has been. Biggest ever drop in about 15 months. The oil prices declined by about 13% to settle down at a shade below 73. So we had forecasted the prices to go down by a significant bit to cross the $80 mark, but it went way beyond what our forecast were. But feels good to be right again. Now, what it holds and why the prices moved the way it did, and what is in store? What should we expect for the next week? So these are the kind of questions which are exercising us, and our viewers will delve into that. So looking at the past week, yes, the banking crisis seems to get more and more serious, where it's spreading to credit size in Europe. And as of a couple of hours back, things are looking very grim for credit size, with all options on the table and no good options. And the point to be seen is whether it leads to some further spillover effects. So we'll need to wait and watch. So that's the story for Europe. The US banking crisis surprisingly seems to be well contained, and this is what we would like to believe. And we do not foresee much of an issue going forward. So the US authorities have really done a fairly clinical and stable job. So we think the worst is behind us for the US banking sector. But Europe, it's anybody's guess, and we'll wait and see as to how the news stories evolve. So looking back on the prices, the dramatic fall in the prices last week, about 13%. So what gives? Is there a story beyond just the banking? Just the banking alone, we believe, does not really explain the way the market reacted. So we believe the market is beginning to catch up with the disappointing demand scenario across the three markets: US, Europe, and China. And when it comes to China, another interesting bit of information which has come by, or the news which has come by, is Chinese government has virtually stopped all data flow to be accessed from outside of China. So what it means is whatever the data Chinese government releases, only that will be the data. So far, you could triangulate the data which was available from various sources and try to arrive at more closer assessment as to what the data really means. But now it's kind of an official publication of data. So we believe we'll need to be a lot more circumspect about the data coming out and how to really get deeper into it. It's a challenge, and we'll see how it shapes up. But that's not very good news coming out from China. And the China data, we continue to repeat ourselves that it disappoints us, and it will disappoint us further. So what most the market participants hope for is by around the end of the second quarter, the China growth story really could kick in, and it would help the markets rebound and go further. But we do not buy that story, and we remain quite circumspect about the China growth. And that's the question which is facing us. So is the demand deflation? I would not say that the growth has started to decline as yet on the overall basis, because India, the Middle East, the whole of Southeast Asia, Africa, they're still in the growth mode. But China, US, and Europe, they are not. So coming to the big question as to what do we foresee for the prices for the Brent in this coming week? Is it going to stay stable at this level, 73 for the Brent, or it's going to do a sharp recovery and get further or go still further down? So our assessment is it would take a bit of a breather, not really much room for an upside except for about up to $75, which is about $2. But the downside risk still remains. So we would like to see that this week the prices hover around in between 70 to 75, so which is in a narrow range. So that's our forecast for the Brent, plus or minus $2, more range bound, but no sharp uptick this week. So we come back to the bitumen side of the market, and bitumen, what we are seeing is a very strong indication of lower inventories in India, some supply concerns from Iran, and the increasing price scenario in the Indian bitumen market. So for this week and the next, we expect the bitumen prices to further strengthen and go on from there. So that's all for this week's episode. Thank you for joining. Thanks.